Cutters, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinions. Hey there, Heather, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Cutter, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinion. And this is going to be number 196 in the grand scheme of things. I already have 197 set up to be taped sometime maybe next week because the post to do with 197 is still up as I am taping this on June the 3rd, 2023. I want to give people a chance to look at it. And then 198, I have no clue, but I know what 199 and 200 are going to be. So anyway, so the topic of this one is a very underrated Raditch mistake in season 4. When I posted this 5 days ago, I said, we all know that Raditch made so many boo-boos in the Rick situation by letting him back into school with no restrictions, not listening to the students' pleas, bashing about her quote-unquote stupid crusades, not listening to Rick when he was trying to get Jimmy off the quiz, and basically not calming the students down in the aftermath of the Rick shooting. But, excuse me. But what if I told you that, in my mind, his fourth biggest mistake, behind letting Rick back in, ignoring Rick and screwing up the aftermath, was not going after Spinner in any way in the aftermath? Now, granted, the scene in which he tells Spinner to meet him at 3:30 for a talk that very day in Time Stand Still Part 2 was a deleted scene, and stupidly at that. But people didn't think of that scene in the grand scheme of things, thinking that when Spinner said Raditch knows in the normal cut of the show to Jay, it meant that Spinner realizes Jamie might narc on him, instead of us knowing it was a face-to-face with Raditch, which led to the Spinner's line. However, I feel that if Raditch had remembered to talk to Spinner, maybe Spinner does confess his role in everything and it implicates Jay, and still leave Alex out of the issue. But why couldn't Raditch have done that and try to fix the school? He could multitask, although he could be botched in the aftermath. It's just bugging me. Now, nobody actually commented, which was weird, but that's okay. So, Raditch's role in season 4 was terrible. I've done many unpopular opinions on this guy, and I've done many unpopular opinions on the Rick Murray situation. But the simple fact, boys and girls of all ages and creeds, is that, Raditch really botched it in Mercy Street. In season 4, he shakes hands with Rick and his mom. Everyone is sickened by it. In a stupidly put deleted scene, I don't know why CTV couldn't have it in the main product, or the Nick, because I'm going to be American, no. Raditch says that Terry's at private school, can't talk about her matters, and basically goes on to says that he doesn't have a criminal charge, what am I supposed to do about it? And as long as a student doesn't have a criminal record, he or she can study at my school, like it or not. Like, he kind of figures something is fishy. But then, after Emma tries to block Rick from moving, Raditch says Emma let him through, and Emma says, we don't want him at the school, and Raditch says, I disagree. Stay out of this mess. This is not one of your stupid crusades. Of course, I've gone on many CDUOs on a rant about how maybe Raditch did have a grudge against Emma and all that, because of Emma always being the thorn in his side, if you will. But the simple fact is that Raditch wasn't really involved in the Rick Murray situation until Time Stand Still Part 1. And that's when Rick goes to Raditch trying to get Jimmy thrown off the team because Jimmy's bullying him, and he's on the quiz team because Heather got mono. Raditch wants to know what Rick's saying. Rick says the stuff, but Rick doesn't say he's bullying him. He just doesn't want to be my friend and makes no qualms about it. Raditch takes that at face value and tells Rick, you got to do better making friends. I can't force you to be friends with him. It takes two to tango. Like, ignores Rick. But the simple fact is that, Raditch just took everything at face value. If Rick had said bullying or something like that, Raditch could have done one of two things. One, believe Rick's every move and does something about it. Or two, is tell Rick, the next time this happens, come to me. And I want concrete evidence. I need evidence of this happening. I think he wanted concrete evidence. And Rick couldn't give it to him. Because if he wanted concrete evidence and Rick gave it to him, then Raditch probably would have done something about it. But the problem is that it didn't seem like they were going to do anything about it. So, Rick gets shafted by Raditch and all that. But fortunately for Rick, he does get into Jimmy's good books by telling Jimmy that, they've been torturing me and now they're torturing Topes. So anyway, Jimmy puts a stop to things, pissing off Alex, Jay, and Spinner in the process. And then, simply put, they're upset. Yeah, and then Raditch reappears in the deleted scene, after he bashes everyone in Time Stand Still Part 2, says that I have never been so embarrassed to be part of Degrassi as an educator because of this whole paint and feathers thing. I want to find answers. Please tell me these answers. I assure confidentiality. But then, of course, there were a lot of problems going on. And, well, Raditch actually does get kind of an answer from everybody, saying that, he got Spinner because Spinner couldn't help but cluck at Rick. And then Raditch basically decides to blow off at Spinner, saying, this is not good, and you are going to talk to me at 3:30. Spinner tries to get out of it, but no, he couldn't. And then Raditch turns around and tells Rick, I'm sorry for what happened, you can leave. And Rick says, I'm going to my locker, and then Raditch says, then just leave. And then that's when Snake gets angry at Raditch, saying that, what's your plan for fixing this situation? He can't do any more harm than good. Can't do any more harm if he's not here. And then, as Snake gets on his case, and Raditch then goes, well, last time I checked, this is not daycare, and make friends is not part of the curriculum. I don't think daycare really has a curriculum. I would say preschool, because that makes much more sense for the curriculum shift. And of course, Raditch gets chastised by Snake, saying, where was this hindsight with the warning signs? And Raditch says, I have 700 students. How was I supposed to know someone was going to get mad about spilled paint? He has a point. But basically, Raditch and Snake have this blow-off and all that. And then Raditch tries to fix the situation by canceling Dracula and putting on a musical because, trying to make Degrassi look good. Like, I don't blame the guy. I mean, he's trying to put Degrassi in a positive light, but he's putting himself in harm's way, and the students are not liking it. And a combination of students getting mad at him, possibly Snake having something to do with it, like Liberty and JT, and the fact that a school shooting happened under Raditch's watch, when Raditch was not intent on things, led to his downfall, led to his reassignment, quote unquote. Could it be a firing? Maybe. I think it was somehow. And Raditch didn't want to tell anyone he got fired. I mean, that might be an ego trip move, but, Raditch was probably upset. I just wish that Raditch had actually had some culpability in the situation. I mean, Snake even did. And Snake, said that he felt terrible for what he did. But the fact of the matter, guys, is that, people forget about that part. Now, I don't blame the Reddit community because, that whole 3:30 talk was actually a deleted scene. But still, if you watch the deleted scenes and then you add on the deleted scenes to the main product, then the line Raditch knows. Because Spinner was convinced that Jimmy was probably going to narc on him. Okay, for one thing, you could say that. And then all of a sudden, he realizes his mistakes. And he's like, man, I don't know what to do. I mean, Jay, in a sense, calms him down by saying that, Jimmy's the one at fault, not you. I think he was just trying to help Spinner out. And Jay and Spinner didn't foresee Rick having a gun and all that. I mean, it's obvious. They missed the point. Spinner actually put two and two together in the aftermath and then tries to say, I gotta go to the cops because they're gonna know about this. And Jay says, you gotta shut up. He's my best friend. Either outcome, he is your best friend. He was your best friend. And Spinner's guilt lasted for 3 months and all that, because when Jimmy comes back to school, it's after 3 months. Of course, Jimmy gets held back because of missing too much school because of all that stuff, and Hatzackles had to make the difficult decision. But, I mean, what would have happened if Raditch actually did do the talk with Spinner? And I feel that Spinner would have been caught. He would have had to implicate Jay. I don't know if he implicates Alex, but he would have had to implicate them. Like, to me, there's one of two things. Number one, it would have probably saved Raditch's job. But the fact is, it probably would have saved his job for the time being. But then again, if he does the musical thing, then that just basically takes away the goodwill. And basically, he's back at square one. So what I think happens in this whole situation is that You know, Raj was trying to duck responsibility. You know, us as the audience, we can make our own assumptions about if Raj is just basically trying to avoid conflict with anybody, especially Snake. But I look at things and I'm like, you know, Raditch should have done better. You know, he should have done better. And he should have listened to the students, please, and all that. All he had to do is just basically maybe do a video announcement at the worst, or do an assembly. And basically says that Rick's back at the school and this is what's happening to him and what can I do? Maybe he gets some sympathy. He probably wouldn't, but, you know, he could have done much better. But that's just all I'm saying. I mean, I've done a lot of videos on this guy, and like I've done like doubling down and all that bull crap. But the fact is that he didn't do himself any freaking favors, and you can put that to the bank. All he had to do was get a spinner, and maybe, just maybe, things would have happened for the better. It wouldn't have saved his job, but at least it buys him some time, so that's just what happens. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Thanks for watching.